Hello and welcome, Essex County College family. This is the Virtual Cafe powered by Student Life and Activities. Today's episode number 44 is Hispanic Art. You know, October and a bunch of September are celebrated as National Hispanic Heritage Month. We like to celebrate that every year at Essex County College with Student Life and Activities. We thank you for joining us today. We have some special guests with us today, as always. We have our student government vice president, Miss Jessica Lopez, it is her glorious birthday. Let's wish her happy birthday. Happy birthday, Miss Lopez.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have our Student Government Association president with us today, Miss Sapphire Rodriguez. Sapphire, how are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
All right. Thanks for joining us. And we have the one and only Dr. Mr. Professor Jamil Graham from Student Life. What's happening, Dr. Graham?
Just enjoying the day, ready for this live art.
Awesome. Before we get into some art, I just want, because the only Hispanic credentials I have is arroz con pollo. I don't know much more than that, so I'm here to learn today with you guys, okay? Now, one thing I do know is a little bit of comic book art, and one of my favorite books of all time is a comic book called Love and Rockets. Now, this book is made by very, very famous authors. They are called Los Bros Hernandez. This is a long-running comic book. It has been going since 1981, okay? If you like telenovelas mixed with a little bit of sci-fi and weirdness and teenage angst and a little bit of punk rock, Love and Rockets has been going strong now for almost 40 years. It's available digitally as well in your bookstores. It's my one recommendation for anybody looking to check out a different flavor of Hispanic art. Love and Rockets, awesome comic book. It's been serialized since, like I said, the early 80s. It's been going strong since. Today, we do have some live art demonstrations, and we also want to check in with the birthday girl, Miss Lopez, because Miss Lopez has a big collection of art that she's amassed over the years of her own work, and we'd love for her to show us some of that. Miss Lopez?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm going to start with my birthday board. I'm going to bring it back here. So anyone that knows me being Hispanic, but I am Puerto Rican. So this is basically our Puerto Rican flag. And the reason why I painted pink on the top is because it's also in reference to Breast Cancer Awareness Month, because not only is it Hispanic Heritage Month, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we also are celebrating different cultures when it comes to being Hispanic. So of course, I threw in my little birthday shout out to myself. And what I did on the board was I found 40 years ago, back in time in 1980. And this board represents the most popular things that were in 1980 as far as music genre, movies, art, love for food, and so on and so forth. So each little detail depicts something as far as the genre in the 80s are concerned. So I can read them out to you. I mean, but they're small, so you may not be, unless I actually put it up onto the monitor. But you'll be able to see there, here, music hits, and so on and so forth. So this was kind of like my first piece as far as my creation towards my Hispanic community.
Awesome. What else do you have? Show us something.
I'm going to show you something big. And this was a piece that I worked on. It took me about 2 days to do. And this piece not only incorporates, like I said, my college life, which is my student life. It incorporates my heritage, and it also incorporates, once again, breast cancer awareness. So There goes our Wolverine.
Whoa.
Right.
Here goes our breast cancer awareness ribbon because my mom is a breast cancer survivor. My mother-in-law was just diagnosed with breast cancer and she beat it for the third time. But I also have a halo on the top of the ribbon for those who were not able to make it through and have passed on to the other side, because we have lost many members of our family, not only to breast cancer, but to different kinds of cancer. And then, of course, our angel wings, which anyone who is Hispanic, we love our colors. We show and shine our colors in every which way that we possibly can. So our angel wings are for those family members that may have passed on but lived through us. So this was my student life, my family life, and my home life.
That is awesome. And that is a really meaningful and deep piece, you know, to you. So that comes with a lot of um that piece comes with a lot of detail and a lot of personal message, right?
Yes, it has a lot of personal meaning to me because for me, like I said, when it comes to the breast cancer awareness, the Hispanic community, I actually sat down and looked at the statistics, and between the African American culture and the Hispanic culture make up a majority of the women who actually end up dealing with breast cancer. And it can start as early as your 20s. And just because, unfortunately, when it comes to testing, a lot of the doctors say, oh, you can wait until you're 40 because that's when they really start testing the women for breast cancer in our communities. But notably, it's a situation where we need to make sure that we're checking ourselves, men and women, because this is not just a disease that falls under women. Men can get it too. So it's something that's very, very near and dear to my heart when it comes to my culture, my student life now, and now my family life, which, like I said, represents my mom because she's a strong woman, and my mother-in-law, who, like I said, just beat breast cancer for the third time in 15 years. So the last piece is all Hispanico. So this is a roll call.
Hispano.
So what I did is everyone knows in Hispanic heritage, we are the most combined people that we have. We say we're Puerto Rican, we say we're Dominicans, but our heritage is Taino. We come from the Indians, okay? We come from the Mayans. We have such a rich history when it comes to being a Hispanic person. So it's not just about being Cuban or Guatemalan or Mexican or Honduras or Puerto Rican or Uruguay. It's basically, this is our road call. All of our countries here, all of our flags, all of the flags that I created represent every single culture that we have as far as Hispanic heritage is concerned. And anyone knows that our fists are our voice. And that for me was one of the most important representations that I needed to do between showing off the Taino culture as well as the Mayan culture, because that is the richest part of our history.
That's a really, really awesome piece, and I really like your line work. The fist is very,
Thank you.
it is very cool. It's cartoony, and what I enjoy is that all of your flags are not perfect little square boxes. They're each single
No,
one is completely unique. You drew each box. It wasn't. You didn't. You can tell each flag it's on its own. You didn't copy anything.
no, it wasn't. I did it all. It was all freehand. So this was it was something that I felt that for me, and the fist itself was when I was looking it up, it was actually just a plain fist. I incorporated the Taino flag because this is the original Taino flag. And these are their colors, which are green and red, and the rich yellow. And then obviously you see here, this is the sun. And then down here we have the Mayan symbol, which could have been a pyramid, could have been anything. I chose to strategically the turtle because of the details. If you look inside the turtle, it's a maze. So a lot of the ruins in Mayan culture had their mazes just like Egyptians did. So you may have gone in through one way, but came out on the other side in a different direction.
It's a nice metaphor for life. Sometimes we come in a different direction, we leave another way, right?
Yep. That's how it goes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, that piece is really awesome. I would encourage you to make like a print of that piece. If I saw that on someone's table, I would buy that print for $10 or $20. That's awesome.
Well, like I said, all of my pieces, what I'm doing now is I'm keeping them in the book. And then eventually when we have like a virtual art day, well, which is something that I would love for us to be able to say, it's someone, Pedro just said, swap the colors on the Puerto Rican flag and you have the Cuban flag, which is absolutely true. And a lot of people don't realize that the Cuban flag and the Puerto Rican flag are exactly the same. All you have to do is swap the colors and you're in a different diversity, but the colors always, those reds, those greens, the yellows, the blues, throughout all of the Hispanic heritage flags were predominantly the colors that were used as far as the Hispanic culture is concerned. But as far as the prints, yeah, I mean, it's something that I love creating. And especially when it comes to culture art pieces, I find that the more love you put into it, the more I get into a zone when I paint and when I draw. So for me, it's really about bringing you the best piece that I possibly can, because this for me was the most amazing thing to be able to create and show you guys, to be a proud Hispanic, to be a Latina, to be Puerto Rican. But again, it's funny because I did my ancestry, and I am actually 39% Spaniard, and I'm only 14% indigenous Puerto Rican, which means that they can't clarify what part of Puerto Rico I'm from or what background I'm from. But I am actually 39% Spaniard as far as my ancestry is concerned.
We'll take it. That's enough for me. You're in.
You're accepted.
That's it. I'm accepted.
Excellent. All right. Awesome. That is unbelievable work from Miss Jessica Lopez. Yeah. Happy birthday again.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. In the past, we would do Hispanic heritage art shows at the West Essex campus, and we'd highlight a lot of our art students and have them submit pieces specifically for the show. And we'd also have some folks do live drawing or live painting exhibitions right in the student lounge, kind of right in front of where all the artwork would be. So it would generate attention for Hispanic heritage. And so a lot of our other students could see that we do have artists on campus, and there is a multitude of talent from Essex students in this specific field of Hispanic art. So we want to continue that tradition virtually by showing some awesome art like we just had from Miss Lopez. And we are going to transition into a live piece from our SGA president, Sapphire Rodriguez. So we have Sapphire with us. We're going to hopefully interview her and annoy her while she's drawing. How you doing today, Sapphire?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right. All right. Now, what do you have something specific for Hispanic Heritage Month that you're going to work on today, or explain to us what you're doing?
Originally, I was going to paint a Puerto Rican flag, but just kind of beat me to it. The only reason I was going to paint the flag is to kind of bring forward the meaning of the colors. So everybody's flag means something different to them, and everybody's colors mean something different, but our colors run very deep. So I thought that I was going to do that. But if there was more people, I was willing to take any kind of, idea that you guys had and just kind of bring it to life.
Okay, that was. Oh, so you were going to do like a live commission and poll the audience?
Yeah.
All right, all right. If anybody has anything they want her that you would like Sapphire to draw, now is the time to speak up.
So what are we going to do? I think I'll just go with the flag. Okay. So I don't know. I normally paint standing up, but I kind of don't want to be out of the frame.
You do you. Whatever's comfortable for you.
I'll just stick with the original idea of the flag. If it was cute, meaningful, I think it'd be really cool. And then you can hit me with all the questions you got while I get ready. All right?
Sounds good.
All right.
Now, do you stencil something first, or do you do like some ink first? Just to have your guideline, or are you just free painting?
Typically, I would draw out like an idea. Like for some of the ones I have on the wall, they were pre-drawn and then painted in, just so I can know placement. Others, like this one back here with the sunset, was just random colors that became that. So it all depends. That's the beauty of art.
I love that piece. That's always, ever since we first started, I've always loved that piece.
Yeah.
Sunset piece, that's been my favorite piece from day one.
Thank you. I got a love-hate relationship with it because I feel like the clouds didn't do what they were supposed to do. Here we are, that one's fun. Another one that's my favorite is covered by all those extra annoying balloons. But, it's okay. Yeah. So I'll just like draw out kind of where I want it to go. And it never looks like the drawing, ever. Drawing is just like, all right, this is where my lines are gonna go. This is what I have to cover in. And I just want to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Red, white, red, white, red, red, white, white. Yeah. Okay.
Now, Sapphire, when it comes to the star, do you use different stars, or do you have like a form of a star that you're used to using?
For like the star for the flag? Honestly,
yeah, the star for the flag.
You could do a star, or the whole reason the star is there is to represent the actual island itself. So if you want to replace the star with the island. So it's kind of open to interpretation, but I think I'll just be pretty traditional because I don't think I've ever actually painted our flag before. So
okay.
Yeah.
So Sapphire, typically, what art do you like get into the most? What comes out of you naturally? What is, like, give us an example when you sit down to draw, when you have no specific assignment in front of you. What is something natural that comes out?
Caricatures and doodles, because I normally if I'm drawing or painting, it's for the most part something based off emotions. It's like my form of therapy. It's how I express myself when I can't say the words. I'm not very big on like expressing myself in word form because I don't know how to do that. So I look to art to express my feelings. And I feel like it's so much more powerful and impactful because what I'm going through could be the same thing someone else is going through. And we'll never be on the same page verbally. But when they see it, they could feel it. And then that'll bring forth a conversation. Like this overall, I was feeling kind of like I wanted a peaceful place. I wanted just quiet and calm. And I got it. The top one, I don't know if you can see it. You can see it. Oh, okay, so you can. So the top left with my little guy in the middle, it just kind of shows the comparison of dark and light. You got to have a balance in the world. And sometimes the line can get blurred, but you always got to find your inner peace. So that one was just like, it started out as a doodle of the person. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do with this. And I don't know where I want to go from it. So I left the original doodle right in the middle. I thought it was so cute. And I just kind of painted how I felt around it.
That is awesome, and I can relate to that tenfold. I hate talking, but I can communicate with music, so I'd rather play music with people than talk. So I totally understand that. Miss Lopez,
Yes.
how do you feel about communication? I know you like to talk, but would you rather speak through art as opposed to sitting down and just, going on about something with somebody?
Actually, I prefer painting. That's my thing. I paint abstract. As you can see my walls behind me. I when I'm feeling down, I'm feeling out, I'm feeling that I have nothing left, I go to my art. Right now, I have two canvases sitting drying besides all the artwork that I did for today and the artwork that I did for art class. Because my church, whenever we have any kind of celebration, they come to me for the canvases. And what we do is we then gift the canvases to the people of the church who may be interested in them. But I'm huge when it comes to abstract art. A lot of people don't get it because it's not depicted as a figure like a bowl of fruit or something like that. It's interpreted through you. Norman Bloom actually has an amazing exhibit at Newark Museum. It opened up on Valentine's Day in February, right before COVID hit. And if anyone who likes abstract art, I'll tell you, go out and see that exhibit because it is amazing. He has a piece that is literally wall to wall that he did that has, he used a lot of Egyptian culture. He used a lot of Hispanic culture. He used a lot of Japanese culture in his art. And just being able to sit here and see the beauty in something, look for that beauty in something that may seem down and dark and dreary, that someone else may not be able to see the fine line, for me is what I look for when I am going through my art. I have a portfolio of just abstract art that I've created in the last year, to where I'll just sit and paint. I mean, my living room is literally an art studio because I have crates of paints and 3D paints and neon paints and every kind of paint I can get my hands on. I just feel like I'm a creative soul. So speaking my hurt, my pain, my emotion through art sometimes comes out much better than me actually saying it.
Miss Rodriguez, let's check in with you over there. What's happening?
Again, same thing that Jess was saying. I'm more abstract, so I'm kind of getting the colors down before I blend it all out and, come up with however it's going to end up. I really don't know how it's going to end up. I'm using acrylic today just because it's a little more simple. I've been experimenting with oil and it's a little messier and a lot
Mm-hmm.
more
No, the oil is definitely a little bit. But with oil painting, Sapphire, do you find that how with acrylic art and the oil painting, the smell of it lasts longer?
Yes, but that's what I like. Like sometimes I don't have them here because I actually get to sell them at art show. I've done some with acrylic and then spray paint, and then after you
Mm-hmm.
spray paint down,
Oh, okay.
torch it up, and it gets a really nice gloss to it. But I love the lingering smell. It's like I did something today.
Yeah, no, exactly. Pedro actually said something in the chat. It says some of us still haven't found our talent gifts, but ju- some just come natural, and others find it in a space of gets away, as in music, and
Uh,
that's true.
yeah.
But they go hand in hand, Pedro. To be honest with you, I feel like if you got the right music going, I have a playlist on my phone that I use to paint. If I'm in that zone and I'm listening to a certain playlist, and I'm painting at the same time, literally the world just shuts down for me. Like I am zoned in, and I feel like that's when I become the most creative. So music, it doesn't have to be a separate thing. Music is so, in so many ways, is incorporated into when those of us that are being creative in art, and vice versa. You know, you may be listening to something that you may want to say, maybe I want to depict this song in a picture and use it as a vice versa. So, and I've done both. So music, I always find music and art, although they are separate entities, for some reason always find a way of clashing together because of how they complement each other.
Amen to that 100%. Music and art, we are brothers and sisters for
Yes.
life. Hello.
Music is art you can hear.
Sapphire, let me let me ask you this. So right now you're listening to us talk to you while you're doing art, which I'm sure is probably not as good as you listening to music. But when you when you do listen to music when you are drawing or painting, what is the music?
90s rock. Very, very early rock. I feel like music back then, they all told stories. Now I like music today where it's kind of more just based on how you feel when you listen to it. Makes you feel good, makes you want to party, makes you want to, have a good time. Music back then would transpire. It'd take you to places that you would never think could go. Honestly, like most of it can go further than the 90s. Like I can go further back. I'll listen to like Aerosmith or most definitely Nirvana because I feel like Kurt Cobain's voice just kind of takes you in another place and you feel his pain, you feel his story, you feel his struggle. And you kind of take that and you interpret it in your own way and you put it on your canvas and someone's going to feel something, not necessarily the same thing you feel when you did it, but they're going to feel something. So I'll listen to that for the most part. But it depends on the mood.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the mood.
Emotion has a lot to do with it, right, Sapphire? Like if you're in a bad mood, in a bad space, and you're having just one of them days where you're like, everything that can possibly go wrong went wrong and then some, and you hit that, you grab that book and you grab those paints, you grab those pencils, and you just start creating, and it's almost like it's therapy. You literally leave your heart in your artwork because at the end of the day, it's like it's a release, and you say to yourself, and what I do personally is if I hit one of those moods where, and I don't know if Sapphire can relate to this, to where I hit one of those days and I hit one of those moods where I'll paint, I'll leave it. Like if it's drawing, I'll let it dry. I'll take it out of sight, out of mind. And then I'll go back to it when I'm in a better space and see what I was able to create when I was not in the space that I wanted to be in.
Yeah, you can see the pain. You can see the emotion.
You can see you can feel
Yes.
that level of and I don't like using negative words. So for me, it's just like that space where you're just like, man, today wasn't my day, so I'm gonna paint. You know, there have been times where it's been 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and because I can't sleep, I'm painting.
Well, yeah. I mean, like our sketchbooks tell our story. Like this one clearly has been through it with me. She's falling apart.
Yeah.
This is the one that I would carry through school, and like everything in here is different. Some are really colorful. Some are just kind of doodles. Others are very emotional based. Like I was having a bad day.
Yes.
Yeah, flip through that a little bit. Let's take a look at a couple of those pages.
All right, let's see. So these are days that I'm just not feeling super hot. Other days I'm just kind of like doodling because I'm bored. You know, different feelings.
I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a play on Creation of Adam.
Yes.
More or less like along the lines of just yearning for some type of comfort, like I'm reaching out for help. More anxiety-driven things, you know. These are all just like one line that just kind of becomes something else. More of that. So this book is the one where it's just like I'm feeling ways. I'm just gonna just doodle. See, creepy things. just changing reality, because with art you have the power to do that. Ideas and more ideas.
That was an eyeball in an ice cream cone.
Yeah, I actually have an actual painting of it that I decided to make. More doodles. This is one of my favorites coming up. Hold on one second. My absolute favorite drawing in here.
Gorillas, what up? Nice.
Character from each album, and I was like, I want to make my own piece off of it. And yeah, I got that one. Let's see. There was another one that I had drew one time in, this is it. I drew it in the cafeteria. It was around finals. And I was just really, really anxious. So I drew what I felt like my anxiety looks like. You know how we all have that like monster?
Yeah, we all have that little monster.
Diablita. Look at that Diablita. Jeez.
I drew mine, and a girl next to me was like, are you okay? I was like, I'm absolutely fine. I feel so much better now that I drew it out.
Because that's how we get it out.
Just like it's a representation of life. This is cool too. Fun little guys.
Shy guys. Nice.
Hi, guys.
Shy guys. Just playing with color. So there's a whole bunch of different stuff in this guy. I don't remember what this was, but it's here now. So like some of them you just don't, it just happens. You're in your head and you want to get out. So I got that guy. Let's see. I got too much art. My sketchbooks are normally always covered in stickers. These stickers are from a friend that started his own company, his own brand, self-started, and it's actually like kicking off. It's really, 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 really cool.
I like those.
Most of these slaps are his. This is another friend of mine who's doing the same thing. I got another one of his stickers there, a few on the wall.
What's on the Wu-Tang sticker on the front?
What is Wu-Tang? Wu-Tang and then, I love Jason. So it's got like Jason Voorhees mask.
Oh, it's Jason Wu-Tang crossover. That's awesome.
Yeah. These were stickers from Typer, a graffiti artist that I know. Another one from my friend Subconscious. This is another one from Falsehood. Clearly another one from Falsehood. So artists support artists, and I carry them around with me all the time. This book is got some stuff, some good stuff, some bad stuff. Hit or miss, honestly. Let's see, I got any good ones in here? Oh yeah, I like this guy.
That looks good.
Yeah, that one's fun. This was fun too because my friend named his truck Reptar when he got his Jeep, and I was like, oh, I want to draw Reptar. And I had so much fun. It was my first piece that I did with color pencil. I was very nervous because I didn't know if I would be able to blend them properly, but it worked out really well. This was a work in progress. You know, we all got those half-complete projects. Let's see. This book's pretty full.
They want to see your pebbles.
My tattoo?
Yeah, show your pebbles.
She goes. She's got to get retouched up. Her hair's fading out.
Oh, no. Yeah, we got to get it touched up.
You got to take her to the salon. This picture was actually really fun. I originally started out drawing a heel, and it became a fish. Don't ask how. I saw the face. I can't explain it. This was the original sketch for a painting I have on the wall. I had a really, really, really bad toothache and a headache at the same time because I have a tumor on the left side of my head. So sometimes it causes a lot of pain. And instead of me depicting the pain, I kind of wanted to show something prettier. The whole world just fell. Just move you guys.
She's moving her stuff. Well, while she's doing that, I wanted to show you a piece that I actually was able to sell. I recreated it.
That
I like
very
that.
cool. What is that?
It's abstract.
It's abstract art. But what you don't see is there are birds. And I don't know, because of the glare on the, you see here?
You see birds and I see flowers.
Yeah, I see flowers for sure.
I had one of my husband's coworkers, because he actually took a picture of it and put it at his desk at work.
That's
like, I love that. She's like, can she do something like that for me? So I said to her, artists can never duplicate exactly the work that they do. So she wanted something similar. So this was what I was able to kind of sort of recreate for her with bolder colors. She wanted a little bit more of a fall, not so much summery colors. So I was able to recreate it in that form and fashion. But my favorite piece so far that I actually have this one is, and Sapphire I think is gonna like this one. So it's a double upside down butterfly.
Taste the rainbow.
Sorry. Yes. I like creating pieces for days. Like, you know how they say, you know, every day is National Something Day. So in the month of September, which just passed, we had National Grandparents Day, which a lot of people, you know, recognize that some people don't. So I was able to.
I love that.
What is pointy on the purple people?
The pointy, that they're actually, they're dots.
You're like, they're dots, Joe. You dumb.
Let me out. I'm gonna actually take it out of the plastic. There, you can probably see it better now. So here you have grandpa and grandma with the grandkids, with just a depiction of Grandparents' Day.
I've never seen anything that's like textured like that, you know, because you run your finger over that and it's bumps, right?
Yeah, and it's bumpy.
And only in that spot? Did you affix those there yourself?
I'm sorry?
Did you put the bumps there yourself and paint over them?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know you're a huge comic book fan. You're a buff when it comes to these things. But I'm going to give you a secret that you may not know about. Since you pulled out your Hispanic comic books there, check out La Borinqueña.
All right, put that in the chat for me.
I am. Okay, it's called La Borinqueña. She is the Spanish version of what the Americans would call Wonder Woman.
Okay, cool. And what time frame is this from?
Actually, it goes back to did she make it back? Oh no. Yeah, she made it back.
Hold on, let's start that little thing over real quick. So yeah. So what time period is that comic from?
La Borinqueña right now, it was created, if I'm not mistaken, and it's probably as old as I am, I'm gonna say. He started in about 1980. And when Ricardo started it, it was basically he wanted his daughter to have someone he wanted his daughter to have a superhero that looked like her. The actual comic book itself, the concept came out very early, but the comic book itself did not come out until 2016. And when you see her, she's very, she has she's darker in the tone of her skin, very curly brown, beautiful hair. Her uniform looks like a lot of people say like Captain America's, because it has the big Puerto Rican flag flying across the front. I mean, she has an actual comic book with Wonder Woman in it. So it's definitely something to check into. But it was one of those comic books that I got into because my daughter was looking for she wanted a comic book that a superhero that looked like her. But she's really cool, and I would love for you to definitely, just when you get a chance, I'm going to put it in the chat for you. Check her out. He only has 5 issues because they're the printing, the storylines they've been dealing with trying to figure out more storylines. But yes, La Borinqueña is, actually just put it in the chat for you, is a comic book that I want you to check out. It's in English, but it's definitely a comic book that I fell in love with because it depicts the Hispanic woman as a superhero. We don't have a Spanish woman superhero that, you see in mainstream media. We have to go with either, like Wonder Woman from DC, or we have to go with, someone from the Marvel universe. But the heritage is not there. And so I found her, and actually my daughter, who's 5, she was in a pageant show and she had to do a talent night, and we dressed her up. We actually had her costume made personally for her as La Borinqueña.
That's awesome.
Yes. So for me, it was a situation where I wanted her to see someone that looked like her. Not only because we don't have a lot of that. Barbie's just coming out with dolls that look like us. Mattel just started doing this. And it's something that should have been done years and years ago, because generation after generation, the young Latinas, we always either had to pick one Barbie doll or another. It wasn't we had somebody that looked like us, and she depicts us perfectly, even though I'm light skinned, as you can see. But her representation of the Latina in a superhero world is amazing for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Representation for everybody is really important, especially with superheroes, because it's so popular today. And it's sad that it took a really long time to have everybody represented in comic books, but we are getting there, like you just said, with La Borinquena. Did I say it right?
Yeah, La Borinqueña.
La Borinquena.
There you go. Roll your R's. Yeah.
Borinquena.
There you go. Yeah, Edgardo Miranda Rodriguez is actually the editor. He's the one that came out with the comic book, and like I said, it was something that he did for his daughter, and his daughter was the first, like because he does Comic-Con. So when he first went in, people didn't know who he was. They were like, "Who is this person with this woman dressed in a Puerto Rican flag? How did they get in here? Like, this is not a comic book." And he pushed his way in to get in. He pushed his way in to get into Comic-Con. That now every year he's either a panelist or he has some influence coming into this comic book world to bring La Borinqueña not only to the Hispanic community but to the world of comics.
That is awesome. Thank you for teaching our students and myself about La Borinquena.
There you go. Good job.
Awesome. Sapphire, what's going on over there with the live painting? Let's take a look.
I think she's coming along well. I'm not a fan of clean lines. I like it to be very blurred and like kind of just messy. Especially with this one, I think it works really well because the lines are blurred. Because to somebody on the outside, my fair skin could give off that I am not Hispanic. So it could throw you off. And then when I do speak Spanish or I talk to someone and I tell them, where I'm from and what I've been through, then they'll give me a little more respect and a little more understanding. But being Hispanic, it is a big blurred line because we don't all look the same. We don't all come from the same places. So I want this to be a little more of a representation of that. I think she's coming along. Got to add in some dimension.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it, but I'm a big fan of stuff like Miss Lopez's was just like that as well, where you're not drawing perfect boxes and stripes and lines. It's artistic vision. Yeah.
Yeah. This had some like finger paint in it because you got to get into your art. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You got to get into your art. You feel it.
How important is expressing your culture through your art to you? Is that something that is on your mind when you're creating every piece, or like just for this piece that you're doing right now? Like where does your Hispanic culture come into play when you're expressing yourself in art? How can you tell us that?
So my Hispanic culture comes into play with everything that I do. I carry it with pride. Just because my paintings won't actually show like the heritage doesn't mean that I don't like express it. So what I'll do is I'll have my paintings out, and for the most part, if I'm displaying at an art show, which I love doing, but we haven't been able to do for a while, I kind of let my paintings speak for themselves. And then when I talk to people, they'll ask about like who I am and what I've been through, and then I'll let it be known. Like, I am a Hispanic artist, and this is what I do, and I don't want my culture and my heritage to define my artwork, but I do want it to be a very big part because we do need representation, you know? We got to find the next Frida.
Yeah, absolutely. Frida Kahlo?
Yes, we have to
Nice.
find the next Frida. We have to. Where'd Jess go? Did we lose Jess? Oh, she went mute.
She's taking a little break. I'm just trying not to talk so that the camera stays on you, so we can just get you, working on the paint in a little bit.
Oh, okay. It's all right. But yeah, this is coming out. I don't know. It's coming out. I actually haven't painted in a little bit. School started at SGA. It's sometimes high demanding, so I don't get to paint as much, but I do go out with my camera and I do make sure to get pictures, because I don't just paint, I draw, I do photography.
You're a photographer as well, you said.
Yes, I used to work for Lifetouch.
Oh, okay, cool. So
Yeah.
how much of your time do you dedicate, like, photography versus art? Where give us the breakdown. How often for each?
So photography, I tend to have my camera on me at all times because even if I don't have my actual camera, I have my phone. So photography has a bigger part than my paintings do, because my paintings, I like to be in a more calm environment where I can just feel free to do whatever I please. Me and the canvas can connect. It's a bit more intimate, but photography just is a part of life for me. It just happens. Ooh, I dropped that. So I paint when I can or when I feel as though I need to, and I take pictures all the time.
You seem to be a very, very colorful human. What is your favorite color to work with? Everybody's got a favorite. What's your favorite color to throw on the canvas?
Actually, that orange yellow combination is one of my favorite. Orange and blue are really, really nice complementary colors, and you can go really, really dark blue and light orange, and it makes a really big statement. Or you can do the opposite, like a deeper orange and a really light blue. So those are my favorites. My second favorites, you can't see them. Hold on. These are the ones that I told you I made the ice cream cone with the eyeball. It was like one of those like brain fart kind of thing, meltdown. So I got that creepy guy right there. He's one of my favorites. I was supposed to have an art show in October, so I thought it was very fitting to have more like spooky theme. And then this guy here next to it was the second piece that came from the first one. I actually like these colors together, but I had never tried them before. And then, Oogie Boogie is a good old classic. A good old classic. And then some abstract stuff.
Tell us about what you're doing now with the stripes.
Just kind of adding in some dimension. I mixed like a magenta with the red so I can get darker, like just some dimension. I like darker colors with the lighter colors so it looks like a little more. And then I'll add in some grays to the white, blend it all out, and then add color on top of it, and boom, good stuff.
That eyeball on the cone was really cool because you have really gross colors, but it's like appealing. That shade, I love that shade of green, like slime green. I can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. That's exactly. I was like, oh, I like this. It's very Halloweenish. You gonna what, Dave? But I appreciate this. I think this is really cool.
Are you finger painting?
I am finger painting.
Why are you doing
Because I'm painting.
For those of you just tuning in, Sapphire is painting some happy little flags right now. Let's check her out. Sapphire, let's see that flag.
You happy with the flag? Yay! Finger painting. Oh! Throw it away.
All right, so what do we do now? What's the protocol?
Wipe. Blend and wipe.
Let's see. That blue, it's very pigmented.
Yeah.
Like, I love Winsor & Newton until you mess up. Oh, yes, it's me. I'm artist. Are you really an artist if you don't get messy every once in a while and have, oops?
I think every artist has a oops, and they just turn that oops into another section of a creation. I don't think any artist can ever say, "Oh, I've never had a oops," and that means you're a tracer, not a real artist.
You're a faker.
You're a faker. So
so that's gonna be a little pink, but that's okay because breast cancer awareness.
there you go.
Where are you on the flag painting? What is the vision for what do you have to do next for this?
Honestly, I have no idea. My red went into my white, and now it's kind of yellow, and we're just going with it. I'm just making it work.
No, it looks cool. It looks awesome.
Oh, thanks. The happy accident changed the whole thing, but it kind of is bringing together all the colors of all different flags, so I feel confident. And then you just kind of get into it, and then you add more colors on top of it, and it becomes something.
Awesome.
Happy accidents lead to happy places.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't that what most abstract is anyways? Happy accidents?
Exactly.
See, because now I got like blue and the stripes and red and oranges, and I just got here.
Now, there's a star on that flag, a white star?
Yeah, the right star is going to go right there.
So do you have to let that blue sit for a while before you do anything on top of it?
Right now it's kind of dry because I have a fan right above me, and it's acrylic, so acrylic dries really fast, like me and Jess were talking about earlier. And as soon as it dries, then I'll be able to put the star over it. The star will probably take the longest to dry since it's on 2-3 layers of paint, but that's okay. I'll do it last. What do I want as the background? I don't know. Yeah. I don't want it.
You know what's cool about this is you set out to do one specific flag, but because of your happy accent, now you've got a lot of different shades of red and pink, and also the yellow in there, which reminds me of the Spanish flag as well.
Yeah. The yellow and the red, they remind me actually of the Colombian flag. And when I lived in Elizabeth, there was just like a lot of Colombian influence over there. I love the culture. I love their food. Colombia itself is absolutely beautiful. So big shout out to all the Colombians.
Are you Colombian?
No, but I have a lot of friends. I actually learned a lot of Spanish from Colombians when I was living with a significant other and their family. My Spanish is very Spanglish. It was very Spanglish, and they helped refine it, and I'm so grateful for them. But now it's cool because I was influenced by Colombians and Uruguayans that when I speak Spanish, no one ever knows I'm Puerto Rican.
Nice.
So it's really cool. And so I was like, oh, that's what I think of when I see this guy. And then we'll fix you all up.
Now, Sapphire, do you do art? I know it's a hobby, but do you do it in any I'm not going to say you're not professional, but what I mean to say is, do you do it in any type of business like setting or platform? Are you selling art? Are you promoting art on the internet or anything like that?
Yeah, so I do sell most of my pieces. I actually want to kind of do like a liquidation and get rid of all of the pieces I have so I can make space for more. I recently started picking up on digital artwork, and I have a friend of mine who has been commissioning stickers off of me. So that's really fun. It's cool to see my artwork in other places. So yeah, I you can book me for photos. I paint, I draw, but right now it's just been the digital because it's cleaner, less cleanup.
So now you're intentionally adding a type of like distressed look, right, to the stripe by adding white to it.
Yeah, I wish I had more pieces to actually like show that I typically make it look like that. Um, because I don't know, I feel like it gives it more character. It's also something that I just like doing because it draws the attention to different little details, and it makes you look at it because it's not perfect. Because as humans, we are kind of um, encoded with noticing perfection, like patterns and things like that. So when you see something that's not perfect, you see something that doesn't follow a specific pattern, it attracts you a lot more. Kind of like the same concept of we're used to reading from left to right. So if you scan a room and you're looking for something and you look from right to left, you'll notice a lot more. Things like that. You just kind of play with the brain to draw attention to your piece. And I love it. Put you back here. Oh, it's going to take a lot of work to color this blue, but that's okay.
Now, why is that?
Um, White is not as pigmented as black and blue because I did use some black in the blue to kind of darken it a little bit. Um, so you see white's kind of opaque and you can see right through it. And the blue is very, very dark. So it's just gonna, it's gonna take its time to build up, but it'll do what it has to do eventually. But the layers is gonna give it the texture, kind of like what Jess and I were talking about earlier. And it just adds more of a quality to your picture. Not only can you see it, but you can feel it. I'll let that dry for a second and then get back to that. For now, I'm trying to see if I want to add anything else. I'm kind of satisfied with it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for doing this today.
No, thank you for inviting me to do this. This was actually very, very cool. I had always wanted to do it at an art show, but I was never actually like, I don't know, I just never stepped forward and offered to do it. I kind of just was like, I'll display. It's okay. Because I get scared of happy accidents happening in person. And then feeling like all eyes are on me, like fishbowl complex, and not knowing what to do. But I fixed it, and I'm very happy with how it turned out compared to what it was. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just step forward and do it next time.
Yeah. Oh, that came out great.
I gotta let that white dry, but other than that, I think she's done. I like it. I'm satisfied.
So we want to thank Sapphire Rodriguez and Jessica Lopez, our student government reps with us today, who also are very talented Hispanic artists. We thank them for coming on the show and showing all of our Essex students the wonderful art that they have accumulated in their room. We want to thank Sapphire for doing a live painting for us today. Sapphire, show us one more time.
That's what we came up with today. She's kind of cool.
That was awesome. We thank you for doing it once again. And we hope that all of you at home are staying safe and healthy during this time. We hope your families are doing well. Remember, we will be doing programs for Hispanic Heritage Month all month long on Virtual Cafe. So tune in next week and the week after and the week after that for more Hispanic heritage goodness. We hope to see all of our SGA folks and our Essex students. Until then, take care. We will see you on the next time.